Hey, and welcome back. All right, today I'm going to continue with my brands that have been discontinued. Today we're going to do Native War Paints and Pretty Serious. All right, so let's start with Native War Paints. Now, Native War Paints was one of the very first indie brands that I got into. I feel like it was at least 15 years ago, because I feel like I started getting into like indies, like collecting nail polish and collecting indies before I moved to Florida, and we've been here for like 14 and a half years. So I feel like it was at least 15 years ago when I really first started getting into indies. And like I said, Native War Paints was one of the first brands I got into because Just Face 90 used to swatch for Native War Paints, and KB Shimmer, Dolish Polish. Those were like the first brands that I got into because she used to swatch for them and I used to watch Just Face 90. So Native War Paints, like I said, was one of the first brands I got into before I really started learning about other indie brands and discovered other brands that had better formulas. So unfortunately, Native War Paints, I have decluttered a ton of their polishes over the years because unfortunately their formulas just were not the best. They didn't hold up, but again, I didn't really know any better. But then obviously once I started discovering other brands with better formulas, I stopped buying from Native War Paints. But they used to have this like monthly club where you would sign up, and then every month you'd get 2 full-size polishes, I believe it was, and then some kind of like extra, like a nail file or like nail stickers or something like that. Anyways, all right, so the ones that I have left, first one I have, and so the ones that I do have left all have pretty good formulas, which is why I've kept them. A lot of them that I had to get rid of, the formulas just got really thin and weird, and they just didn't hold up, or like the shimmers separated and they just got really weird. All right, so the first one I have is Native War Paints Apple Picking. And actually, so the brand, I believe they didn't just discontinue, I think they reformulated, like they rebranded to something else. I don't remember. I know a lot of these brands that have been discontinued, there's a lot of drama behind it. And I feel like there is some kind of drama with Native War Paints. I don't know, because by this point I was like many years past really being familiar with Native War Paints. But I believe there's some kind of drama with them. And so they just like rebranded and changed to a different name. I could be wrong, but I feel like that sounds right. Anyway, so the first one I have is Apple Picking. And this is one of the ones that I got from the box. I used to wear this on my toes all the time. Look at that pretty shimmer. Really pretty. It's probably been several years since I've worn this, but like I said, I used to wear this on my toes all the time. It's really pretty. And this one was from like a fall box, and I still have the other one that came with this. All right, then I have a yellow. I believe I got this one from Krista, I want to say. This one is called Fluttershy, and this one's really pretty. I wore this one a couple months ago, and I really liked it. The really soft yellow, and then the little pink glitter is really nice, and this had a really nice formula. All right, then I have a green. This one, I absolutely love this one. This one was actually a collab with Just Face 90. It's called Lilybug. I believe she did like a whole collection, and I want to say several of them were themed off of her cats, but this one is called Lilybug. This one in December is absolutely gorgeous. I wear this all the time. A lot of times I'll wear it as an accent nail. Sometimes I'll wear it as a full mani. I'll wear this one thin coat over like a dark green, and then this just pops and sparkles in the sun. It's so gorgeous. Still has a really nice formula. I don't believe I've ever had to restore this over the years. I feel like it still just has a really nice formula without having to have been restored. All right, then we have kind of a weird one. This one is called Rotten Zombie Flesh. This one I put in my Halloween drawer. And the weird thing is, so even though I love Puglies and weird, ugly colors, for some reason, I just never gravitate towards this, and I never really want to wear it. But at the same time, I also don't want to get rid of it because this was one of their really popular polishes. And it is interesting, and I should like it, but I don't know. I don't know. All right, then we have another one that came with the fall box with the apple one. This one is called Berry Cobbler. And this is another gorgeous one that I used to wear on my toes all the time. Really, really pretty. I should wear this winter. It's so pretty. I haven't worn this one in a few years either. All right, then I have a few browns, believe it or not. Before I knew that I liked browns, or before I decided I didn't like browns, and I kind of did like browns many years ago. First one is All I Need Is a Little of Your Time, and this one is so pretty. It's a really nice neutral brown, like neutral beigey cream. Really, really, really pretty, and those soft little subtle flakies, really beautiful. This polish came out kind of when flakies were not quite popular yet, but they were just kind of starting to dabble in flakies. Like I believe Native War Paints and then KB Shimmer were like the first ones that really kind of started to dabble in flakies, at least that I was aware of. But really pretty. All right, then this one was from one of their subscription box. The theme that month was coffee, and this one is coffee with lots of cream and sugar. So this is what a really light coffee would look like. This one is very sheer. My swatch pictures aren't the greatest of this. It is, I mean, you can see, I think you can see in there that it is kind of a thin formula. I don't remember if this is because it's just kind of gotten thinner over time. Like I said, a lot of their polishes, when they got weird, they kind of got thin. I don't know if that was the case or if this was just meant to be a sheer thin polish. I don't quite remember. But either way, it's so pretty. Look at that shimmer. And this is really nice for just a soft neutral. Okay, this one I'm pretty sure I frankened. I had to pull out my picture under my franken folder because it wasn't in with my Native War Paint swatches. This one is Homicidal Unicorn Maniacs. I love the name. They had like a unicorn maniac collection, and this is the only one that either the only one that I ever bought or the only one that I ever kept. I believe I actually decluttered this at one point and then I frankened it. And look how crazy that is. Sparkle on that, crazy. All right, then another one. This one is another one that I should love. It was one of their most popular polishes, and I just don't love it. The formula is weird. It's really thin. It's this really interesting brown, and it's got this turquoisey green shimmer. The shimmer never really shows up. It's like very subtle. I kept putting this, I would put it in my Halloween drawer and I never wore it. I put it in my browns, I never wore it. And then I finally put it back into my Halloween drawer. I think there's no rubber band on it. I think I must have finally worn it, but I don't know. I don't want to get rid of it because it's so interesting, like a brown with a green. I think I might have tried to franken it with green shimmers at one point. But then again, it's not in my franken folder, so I don't think I did. I think I had the intentions of frankening this, like adding more, finding something that has more of like an intense green shimmer and adding to it. I might do that someday. I might franken it just for fun. All right, and then the last Native War Paints. This one is beautiful. This one was from one of their boxes. It was like a like an Oscar box. I don't watch Oscars. Do you guys watch any of those award shows? I've never watched none of those shows. Oscars, the Grammys, I've never watched any of those shows. This one is called Black Tie. And this one is really interesting. It's a black, but it's chocked full of this gold shimmer. Look at that. It's so pretty. It ends up looking almost like just a vampy gold. It's really pretty. All right, so that was all my Native War Paints. Now we're gonna move on to Pretty Serious. Now, Pretty Serious, they have a lot of drama. This was, again, one of the first few indie brands I was into because of Just Face 90. I'm pretty sure Just Face 90 swatched for this brand. The first time I really bought any of their polish was specifically for one polish. It was a Halloween polish. It was called Haddonfield. I don't have it any longer because after many years, I finally had to declutter it because it was just so thick and gloopy, I couldn't restore it anymore. And this was before I knew how to restore with base instead of just trying to restore with restoration drops. Anyways, it was in orange, it had black glitters, and it was just like the most beautiful Halloween polish. And so that was my first like foray into Pretty Serious. I didn't I still don't have a ton of their polishes. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the one I decluttered 8. So I think I maybe had in total maybe like 11 or 12 of their polishes. So I decluttered a couple over the years. Anyway, so they were somewhat popular back in the day, like 15-ish years ago. I believe they're an Australian brand. And then several years ago, they had a lot of drama. It's all over Reddit. You can read like the Reddit posts if you want. They were being like, they were closing down, but they still sold. They were still like placing orders, like allowing orders. And so they sold a bunch of polishes knowing that they were closing down. And then no one got the polishes. It turned out like it finally came out, like, I don't know how people found out, but they found out that they were actually in liquidation. So all of their polishes were seized. All the polishes in their warehouse were seized. They knew that all their polishes were seized, but they still sold those polishes knowing that they did not have the polishes. And a lot of people, by the time they realized what was going on, it was too late to cancel. If they paid PayPal wouldn't let them refund their money because it was past the time. Some people that paid with credit card were able to dispute their credit card claims, but a lot of people didn't. A lot of people never got their money back. Never got their polishes, never got their money back. Then, maybe like a year or something later, they came back and they resold. Like, I don't know how it happened. I don't know if they got the polishes back from liquidation or they just like remade some of the polishes, but they were back for like a minute and then tried to like sell polishes. And I guess they never were able to just get over the drama, the fraud, like call it what it is. It was fraud. And they were never able to really get past that. And I believe they ended up closing down again. I could be wrong on that part. Honestly, I don't know if they're still trying to sell anywhere, but anyways. So this brand has left a pretty sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. Personally, I never was still purchasing from them when all this happened, so I wasn't really in the drama. I just remember reading about it later. So anyways, long story short, let's go ahead and get started with Pretty Serious. So the first one I have is Princess Plutonium. And this one's really pretty. This was one of those, the first ones that did like the kind of black, speckly, flaky polish. So it's a bright neon pink. I've never had to restore this and it's still pretty bright and pink. Still has a nice formula. All right, and then the next one is Peace on Earth. This one is just a really soft, kind of like a very pale minty green, and then it's got that pretty pink shimmer. I've worn this a handful of times. It's not my favorite, but it is pretty and I still like it. All right, then this one was one of their most popular polishes. This one is Kefri's Amulet. This one, from what I remember, has a good formula. All right, then we have Pretty Serious Eye of Copernicus. And this one is a really pretty navy blue with all that silver sparkle. Now, a funny story about this. This was many years ago. I was in the pool. I don't know why I was wearing this in the middle of summer, but I was wearing this and I think I was testing out one of those like peel off glitter bases so that you can wear glitters and then just be able to easily peel them off. And I was testing it out. I had this on an accent nail and I remember being at the pool and the whole nail just like popped off. So I remember being at the pool and then having like my nail was just completely naked because the whole thing just popped off. But this is really pretty. I haven't worn this in many years, but this is a really pretty night sky polish. All right, then we have a purple. I'm pretty sure I got this one from Olga a few years ago. This one is Hootenanny. This one has a pretty bad formula. My pictures are actually really bad. Next time I wear this, pretty sure I keep this in my Halloween drawer. No, I think I used to keep this in my Halloween drawer. And then because I remember when I pulled the next purple out of my purples, I pulled this out of my purples. But I believe I used to keep this in my Halloween drawer. But anyways, I need to get better swatch pictures of this is basically what I'm saying. But this one has kind of like a Crelly-ish formula. And honestly, not the best formula. I think it's 3 coats to really get opaque, and my swatch pictures were only 2. And it's a little bit streaky, but I do really like the color. It's really nice for Halloween. So I'll probably put this back in my Halloween drawer. All right, and then we have, what is this one called? An Uzi from Daddy. This is another one of those kind of like speckled polishes. This one is purple, and then it's got these blue flaky speckles. Really interesting. And then it's got like a blue shimmer. Really interesting. And this one has a nice formula too. All right, and then the last one, I don't know about this one, you guys. This is HTF. I think I asked someone one time, and it stands for hard to find. Really, really beautiful in the bottle. I spent many, many, many years trying to find my perfect black with like orange flakies or glitter polish for Halloween. And this one I thought was really good. I eventually found better ones, but this one at the time I thought was really good. It's really beautiful in the bottle, but it has kind of a bad formula. It's really thin. I believe my swatch pictures on this are really bad. I only did 2 coats, I want to say, and it probably needed 3. And then those beautiful flakies don't pop. And I think I've tried wearing this over black before, and I just can't get it to really pop, but it's really pretty. And so I always, when I decluttered a lot of the black and oranges that I had. A lot of them ended up having bad formulas, or they just get really thick and gloopy. And I always just kept this one because I still have high hopes for this one. It is really pretty. It's just more on the subtle side and doesn't pop as much as I want. All right, and then the last one that I no longer have is the one that I told you about, Haddonfield, which was my favorite Halloween polish for many, many, many years. I'm going to go through my Instagram, and I'll find, whenever I wore it, I'll find some pictures and I'll insert that. I now have new favorite Halloween polish. I'm drawing a blank on what it's called. My absolutely favorite polish by, I'm drawing a blank on what they're called. The brand split up, and they're now like 2 brands. I'm completely drawing a blank. But anyways, I have another couple favorite Halloween polishes, so I don't really miss that one as much. But it does have a lot of nostalgia for me because it was my favorite polish and I absolutely loved it. But anyways, I'll insert the picture here. Anyways, if you guys have any comments, leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.